Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for the second episode of the Skylanders carryon Locke here on the channel. It was cool, wasn't it? Yes, I have to go quickly right now. What I did was in fact awesome, but I'm not bothered about that. I'm bothered about what he has to say to Tornado, and that is what he has to say to Tornado. I like turtles. I mean, I can too also agree with that on Quigley. Quigley makes some good points, some very agreeable points. I agree with Quigley for I like turtles, and he likes turtles too. Yeah, you don't look delicious at all, Gurglefin. At the end of the day, you're seafood, and in my personal opinion, seafood should stay where it belongs, in the sea. Seafood is disgusting, and I hate it. So does my stomach, in fact. Every single time I've ever had anything with a shell, so shellfish, my stomach tends to disagree with it, and I throw it straight back up. That's a great image. A great image of Igknight vomiting seafood. You're welcome for that. But yeah, that doesn't extend to all seafood. I can have calamari just fine. In fact, I quite enjoy calamari. Cod and salmon is also okay, but I would, given the choice, I would have literally any other food. I hate tuna. Like, literally, the only way you will get me to eat tuna is if it is the last food on this planet. If I was stuck in some sort of zombie apocalypse, and it was like by the coast, and the only thing we had to eat was fish, I would deal with it. I wouldn't enjoy it, but I would deal with it for the sake of survival. Oh, that's too bad, Gurglefin. But yeah, say seafood is not my absolute favourite, and shellfish I can't even eat. Luckily for me, I don't even like shellfish. I hate the taste of it. I hate the texture of it, so it's not like I'm missing out on much by not eating it. But say, whenever I've had it, crab, prawns, anything shellfish, my stomach just disagrees with it. And it's instantaneous too, like, sometimes the smell alone is enough to make me almost throw up in my mouth. So if the smell alone can trigger that, you can imagine what it's like after I've ate it. Crab, prawns, mussels, shellfish, for a lot of it. Thank you, but I can do without. Yes, that is a statement to live by. Seafood should stay where it belongs. In the sea. Words to live by, folks. Words to live by. And you can quote me on that.
Finally, someone who takes me seriously. No cracks about the one that got away or a really big fish story.
Yeah, Gurglefin is right. Those people are cringe. Cringy people. So cringe.
Yeah, by the way, you might want to hold on to something.
You tell us that as the ship is, like, flying off the face of the Skylanders. Gurglefin definitely, you know, took his time telling us that, didn't he?
This used to be a beautiful place.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, plastic Gurglefin. That's a problem with these ports for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Everything looks like plastic. It has that awful, like, plasticky art style. At the end of the day, like, animated films, when they're made on low budgets, you can tell because they have that kind of, like, plasticky aesthetic to them. Obviously, you know, high budget films, your Pixar animated films, for example, they're going to look a lot better, and they're definitely not going to have that kind of aesthetic. At the end of the day, Elemental is the best looking animated film out there, hands down. Pixar really know what they're doing. They really hone their craft when it comes to just the technical side of the animation in and of itself. Elemental is a beautiful film, visually speaking. And its story is fine. I do think the writing could have done with a little bit more tightening up in areas, and the pacing is all over the place. The character arcs just aren't really consistent. So naturally the film could have done with a stronger script. But that's not to say the script is bad. I think the film is still incredibly strong. It's definitely one of Pixar's best efforts in recent years. Anyway, the water element is stronger here, so it's time for the debut of Zap. Riley's favourite Skylander is officially being placed onto the portal of power. And he has a hat on too. He was just standing in water for a moment there. Apparently, Zap is Jesus. Is that going to be the title of the episode? Last episode we had Potato Tier List, and now we have the fact that Zap is Jesus. Anyway, Wamshell is not a character who is featured in this log, so there's no point in previewing him. In fact, I don't know why I even bothered collecting the Soul Gem in the first place. Okay, time for this fella to die. Yeah, die some more. Got him! Okay, we're not going to bother getting the chest because Zap's treasure count is already maxed out. So we're just going to continue speeding through the level because Zap, he is good for many things. And speedrunning through a level is one of them because he is so quick. Take my quickness to the face. Anyway, just like that, we're back to Drill Sergeant of the Tech Element. And we shall be for the remainder of the level because this is a short level where once again we only have two elemental areas, water and tech. Two of the starter pack elements actually for Trick Happy and Gilgren alike, so you can play through this entire level and have your Skylanders stronger to correspond with the element of the area throughout the whole level, pretty much. Same can be said for, well, actually no, it can't in Perilous Pastures because of the life elemental area, and life is a non-element featured in the starter pack, unless you talk about the 3DS version of the game, which has the superior starter pack in terms of the cast, because Stealth Elf, Igniter and Spyro are a lot better than Spyro, Gilgren and Trick Happy. But that being said, both of the casts from the starter pack are actually really strong, and the Spice Adventure starter pack is just so iconic to this franchise that you really can't talk foul about it. It is so good. Bye bye, Gate! See you in the next life, I guess, because the Gate is dead. I don't know how the Gate is dead, like Lower in it apparently killed it, according to my logic. That's what happened. So now the Gate is dead, see you in the next life. Again, that's not how gates work. Purely because they're an inanimate object, so they weren't alive to begin with. And if you aren't alive to begin with, then you can't die. Dying is a process of going from being alive to being unalive. Therefore, if you were never alive in the first place, how are you supposed to go through the process of going from one to the other? Inanimate objects can't have been alive to begin with. And here I am, deploying that sort of logic to it. I'm personifying the Gate. I'm using a classic literary technique. And here I was thinking I was never any good at English. That was the funniest thing about going through English at secondary school. I wasn't particularly ambitious with English because I never exactly felt as though I was bad at the subject, but compared to my peers, I was put in the very top set for English. And I had a target grade of a 5, whereas all of my other classmates had a target grade of an 8. So I always felt as though my work was so incredibly inferior to theirs. And so I hated myself, well, I hated my work by comparison, you could say. Even though my work, in its own right, was perfectly fine. In fact, turns out it was more than fine, because during my English exams, I got a 7 and an 8, the equivalent of an A star and an A. I got a 7 in language and an 8 in literature. So clearly, my work was always great. I just didn't like the fact that, compared to my peers, I had a much lower target grade. Made me feel inferior to all of them when the truth be told I was actually on the same level, which is why I was put in that first set to begin with. Yeah, apparently my school teachers saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, and I'm gonna quote Cars 3 right now because Cars 3 is such an underrated Pixar movie. We was talking about Elemental earlier, which I do think is an underrated Pixar movie. I like it a lot more than other people do apparently. And I've even said that it is better than a lot of recent Pixar efforts. That is a general consensus actually, like the original Pixar films as of late have been a lot more well received than when Pixar was releasing sequel after sequel after sequel. In fact, the general consensus is that the best thing to come out of the 2010s was Inside Out and Coco. Oh, and I suppose you can you can definitely include Toy Story 3 because that was at the start of the 2010s. Toy Story 3 is the best film of all of them because Toy Story 3 is my favourite Pixar film, hands down. I love Toy Story 3 and it was one of the first films I ever saw in a theatre. But say, Cars 3 is a highly underrated Pixar film, as is Elemental. Okay, apparently that worked. We'll take it. And yes, on the topic of Pixar, Toy Story 3 was one of the first films I saw in a theatre. It was actually one of the first films I cried at in a theatre as well. Like, Toy Story 3, at the end of that movie, I was bawling my eyes out, okay? Toy Story 3 is an emotionally devastating film, but that's what makes it as memorable as it is. You remember the emotions you feel going through that film from roller coasters, so to say, because you go from excitement to sadness to joy to relief to depression again. Toy Story 3 took me through the 5 stages of grief, and I was 9 at the time. But Toy Story 3, whilst it was one of the first films I watched in the theatre, the very first film I ever watched in the theatre was How to Train Your Dragon, which is why that franchise is so near and dear to my heart. And I even watched it in 3D as well, and there's one sequence where the Vikings are prepared to take on the dragon's nest. One of the Vikings chops a piece of wood, and the 3D version, the piece of wood literally comes flying straight at you. As a kid, that blew my mind. Like, I thought the wood was going to fly out the screen and hit me. The 3D was so impressive for that film. So yeah, watching How to Train Your Dragon. First time in a theatre, in 3D no less. What an experience. And it's what has led me to my love of film to this day. Why are the tech flames black? Why aren't they orange? I suppose they'd be too similar to fire if they were to orange. But still though, black. What does tech have to do with black? Usually those torches light up with the element of your Skylander. So Warnado, when we started this episode, made them this light blue for the air element. But that's a problem. A lot of elements have similar colours. Like Undead and Dark, for example. How are you supposed to differentiate them? Is a shade of black and a darker shade of black. Isn't that hilarious? You find the twin sprouts of Ocean Major Minor at Ocean Major Minor. Who saw that one come in? It's like saying you find Geralt of Riviera and Riviera. Actually, that's not entirely true. You know, Geralt is found all over the place in Witcher 3 because it's a huge map, and that's part of what makes the game a definition of our generation. It's a game that has defined our generation, and the fact that it is one of the best games of all time, and it will continue to be one of the best games of all time. No wonder why it's Game of the Year for 2015. It's Game of the Decade more like, because Witcher 3 is just that high in quality. It's that good a game. CD Projekt just blew out of the park with Witcher 3, and it's one of my favourite games of all time. That being said, let's speak with Gurgle Finn, and let's jettison ourselves off the face of the island. I would say off the planet, but would you count a floating island in the middle of the sky a planet? Because in that case, Skylanders has a lot of planets. You know, given that it's an infinite sea of floating islands in the sky, that is what I would use to summarise the world of Skylanders. And a totally real world at that! Okay, if we go far enough out into space, we will find the world of Skylanders. It's definitely not a fictional world whatsoever. It's totally plausible. Everything about this game screams realism. Ah, man! They just had to go and close the main gates on us, didn't they? They couldn't help themselves. That's really disappointed. I am beyond disappointed, and now my day is ruined. Thank you for nothing, you useless video game. But at least now we finally get the debut of Bash. You know, we got one dragon to debut in this episode, finally. And now we're about to get the other. Because this cast is effectively a combination of forgotten and dragon characters, with Joel Sargent and Snip Smash also thrown in there for the sake of variety. Oh, Carp! Carp! We're so screwed now! No! It was such a beautiful boat as well. Oh, but does that mean no more jettisoning ourselves off the face of the islands? You know, no more plummets? No, I think I'm asking too much. There's always going to be always. Always, I tell you. Anyway, time for a little bit of Bash. Who's great because he can act as a ranged and a melee character. Plus, he has roll. And roll is useful. Roll is very useful. Boom! Take this. And take that. Take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Now, Bash also looks like a character who is not yet fully upgraded, but once again I believe he was one of the characters who got reset during the Spice Adventure Roulette, so now it would make sense as to him not being fully upgraded yet, if that was the case. That Spice Adventure Roulette, the consequences of the actions that took place in that series is still continuing to impact these future series. That was part of what made that such a captivating series in the Roulette. Like, stuff which happened in episode 1 really came back to bite me in the ass all the way up until the very end of the series. Like, at the end of the day, Double Trouble got screwed over by how many times he had to be reset due to prior like challenges. So yeah, consequences of earlier episodes made their way to become, well, actions of earlier episodes, I should say, continue to make their way into consequences later in the series. That was what was captivating about it, indeed. Now let's jump down. There you go, baby, there you go. And also, these crates looked to me funny, so I killed them. I killed them all with my roll. Which again, Bash, he can not only be ranged, but also he can very easily charge into combat with the might of that roll. It makes him speedy and very manoeuvrable. So a character who's designed to be a tank and take hits like an absolute champ doesn't even take hits in the first place because he's too busy outmaneuvering his enemies. Yeah, take that frickin' wall. And just like that, we have a preview of what's to come, as well as a bridge that hasn't even rendered it in yet. What's the point in giving us a preview later on the level if you know that later on the level hasn't rendered? You know, a bit of a design flaw, that one. And they have no excuses to it not rendering in, because this is the Xbox 360 for Pete's sake. Like, at the end of the day, PS2 had better technical capabilities than that. Let's open up this fella right here. And I know this because on the PlayStation 2 they released for Sly Cooper games. Which granted, Sly Cooper really did like push the PlayStation 2 to its limits. But even then, like, the Sly Cooper games on the PlayStation 2 were still technically better than half of the stuff that was coming out of the PlayStation 3 during its launch. And yet Sony had the audacity to charge like £600 or something absurd like that for the PlayStation 3. Like, the PlayStation 3 was so significantly overpriced, you could buy an Xbox 360 and a Nintendo Wii for the same price as a PlayStation 3. And yet Sony wonder why the console bombed at launch. They were so cocky after their success with the PlayStation 2, they thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. Anyway, yay for story scrolls, I suppose, but as always, we're going to skip over that, even though it was a funny story scroll. It was a funny story scroll because they used the word poop. Poop is funny. Yes. Yes, I am a 5-year-old child. How old am I? I am this many years old. Wait, hold on. This many. I grew 2 years older in 2 seconds. Wow. Okay, cool, he's dead, and there is a treasure chest down here. Not that we even need it, given that Zack is currently fully upgraded right there. Yeah, there you go, we found a treasure chest. Thank you for pointing it out, game. I never would have figured out that I found a treasure chest if you hadn't explicitly stated that I found a treasure chest. You know, however would I have figured it out without your aid? Oh, now that I've realised it, Ghost Roaster has also been reset due to the consequences of the actions that took place during the Spyro's Adventure Roulette. So when we eventually get around to him, he will not have any upgrades either. Either way, it's time for the Earth element to be placed upon the portal power because Earth has popped up as the strongest element of the area currently. So we're back to Bash, where we are going to check out the preview of my favourite Skylander of all time, a Skylander which, in a later episode, shall finally get his debut, but unfortunately fire doesn't really appear until the latter half of the game. So without further ado, let's get a taser of what's to come. A taser? What did I say taser for? And there it is, a teaser of what's to come. Not a taser, a teaser. That was a teaser of what is in fact to come. And boy, am I looking forward to it. The enemies, they don't stand a chance, man. They don't stand a freaking chance. And neither do I if I keep missing with my tailspin attack. Hey! What did you hit me for? That was a bit rude, don't you think? Consider the consequences of your actions before you partake in such actions. You know, you hit me, so I'm going to do only one thing, which is hit you back. As Captain America once said, if you get hurt, hurt him back. If you get killed, walk it off. So, yeah, here we go with Bash. He got hurt, so we hurt him back. They received consequences for their actions. Their actions hitting me, their consequences, I hit him back. Simple as that, really. And also as simple as the fact that water is currently stronger, so we have to switch out for the Might of Zap once more. Cool, he's dead. Didn't even need a wave there in the end. And soon this little Spellfork is going to be joining him. There you go, man. There you go. Not the Squiddler! Anything but the Squiddler! Boy, I am truly doomed. Me and my fur hat and everything. Man, that is an awesome hat for Zap. Then again, any hat for Zap would be an awesome hat. Because Zap is awesome, and hats just exemplify your raw awesomeness. That being said, we have another awesome thing to get into, which is that of switching to the Magic Elemental representative, Voodoo. Nice gibberish there, Voodoo. Nice gibberish indeed. And boom, we shaketh the room. Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about right there. We're so close to another level up. Can we get another level up? Please and thank you there, video game. Got him! Okay, unfortunately there's only stairs on the left hand side. I swear on the Wii version had this different, so there's stairs on the left hand side as well. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, with that having been said, let's collect the twin spouts of Ocean Major Minor, located in Ocean Major Minor.
Great work, Skylander. Now we just
I love the fact how he's trying to wave us down so we can see him when we are stood right in front of him, like we could miss him from that distance. Also, thank God for magical teleportation abilities. That is convenient. What else is also convenient is for music right now, because the music is legendary. And I hit nothing. I hit nothing because I felt like it, you know. In fact, I didn't hit nothing. I did hit those air particles because those air particles looked me funny, so they had it come in. Oh, we were so close to leveling up, but in the end, close doesn't quite count now, does it? So time for us to switch back to Zap once again, because apparently we haven't had enough of Zap just yet. But we're going to do this, and we're going to do it for Riley. Let's freaking go. No, not Blast! Don't disrupt the gameplay! Gurglefin! Shut up! Instead of telling me what to do, leave me to do what it is that needs to be done. You don't need to tell me this. Just shut up and let me do it instead. Let me do it instead of you telling me to do it. Who am I kidding? I'm clearly asking too much. And up we go! There we go. Oh, sweet money. We love ourselves a good bit of money. We do. We love it. Die. Die some more. Thank you. Yeah, we got him eventually. That's what counts. Yeah, cool. Let's take out all of them too whilst we're at it. Oh, and another thing is that we are going to be tackling every single level in the Skylanders franchise throughout the course of this series. So when we eventually carry over to Swap Force and Trap Team, we will also be playing the Adventure Pack levels, as well as be playing the Adventure Pack levels in this game, which we are doing in between episodes 8 and 10. So after we collect the Eternal Magic Source, we're going to play through the 4 Adventure Pack levels, and then we're going to take on Chaos himself. You know, give us a little bit of a break before the intensity of the final 2 levels. You know, give Igknight a chance for some more screen time before he inevitably gets killed off by the Chaos boss fight. No, I think I can one-shot it. At the end of the day, we one-shot it during the Igniter solo run, so hopefully I can perform on the same scope throughout this series. Hopefully, anyway, but we all know what's said about hope. In my case, it should be limited. You know, you can't expect too much. You can't expect too much because that is asking too much. A string of islands? It's almost like we're a bunch of floating islands on the sky.
From what I've heard, the eternal water source has returned to the sea and can only be summoned with the force.
Oh boy, isn't that inconvenient?
why do I think there's a big butt in all of this?
Ha! You said but. That's funny. First we got poop humour, and now we got butt humour. You know where poop comes from? It comes from the butt. So it's funny. Oh, butts. I sound like Tina right now from Bob's Burgers, who likes butts, horses, and boys. Specifically boys' butts. Those are butts she likes. She likes butts and horses, which is cool because Tina is such an awesome character in Bob's Burgers. In fact, all the characters in Bob's Burgers are awesome characters, which is what makes the show as good of a show as it is. Bob's Burgers asks the controversial and bizarre question of a family adult animated sitcom. What if the family actually liked each other? What? What an absurd concept! The family actually like each other? No, that can't possibly work. American Dad, Family Guy, Simpsons, F is for Family. What do all of these have in common? Every member of the family hates each other, and it works so well. Simpsons is on what? Its 295th season by now? So clearly it has to work quite well. But Bob's Burgers turned around and said, no, we're going to make a series where the family actually like each other. And yet, it works so fucking well for that exact reason. In case you can't tell, I'm a massive Bob's Burgers fan. It is my favourite, like, adult animated sitcom out there. Whatever you want to call it, the point is it's an animated series targeted more towards adults because it does make adult jokes, but at the end of the day, it can also be watched by a kid. It's harmless. Harmless enough. You know, a kid isn't going to be scarred for life by it. No, not a Hobniaro. Anything but a Hobniaro! Okay, let's take out the big brute first. Oh, thank God my attack stunned him! We made mincemeat out of that fella right there. Zap is like the best character for this level as well. And no wonder why, you find his soldier in this level. You know, this level, they basically took Zap as a character design and it was like, what if we designed an entire level around this one character? And this is the level he came up with.
Skylanders of the life.
Okay, life element, time for a little bit of stump smash. Where usually this is when his soul gem could really come in handy because he can heal in the water, but unfortunately, well I was about to say but unfortunately I'm not sure if he has a soul gem. This version of the character definitely has a soul gem because this guy is one of the few in the cast that's fully upgraded. We can go into the water and we can squirt water! It's brilliant, I love this animation so much. This is the greatest animation in gaming history. It's so awesome, man. But that being said, we're going to move away from the animation and kill these folks because they had it coming to look at me funny. The hitbox on that attack is stupid. It is so stupid, and I love it. Hey, fella, come here, come here, come here, come on. Come here. Hey, chase me down, chase me down. No, don't go over there, come here. Come over here, man, come over here. Oh, he's going to attack me? Big mistake, fella. One shot. None of the Sub Smash even needed to one shot because his attack is already powerful enough as it is. That's just overkill right there. Stump Smash is a force to be reckoned with. He is savage. So let's get that guy pushed into place. And luckily, we don't even need to form a bridge with it. We can just go diagonally over these turtles. And that's a good thing too, because I like turtles. As we established in the introduction, me and Quigley have something in common. We both like turtles. No, not a Hobniaro. Anything but a Hobniaro. Well, luckily though, we get to go back to the water element here, so Zap can stun the fella. Yeah, let's get him, Zap. In fact, Zap now has to complete the rest of the level from here. We'll collect the soul gem because, well, not even the soul gem, we'll collect the story scroll as the story scroll was right in our way and we had no other choice in the matter. We literally couldn't continue to traversing the level without grabbing it because it was right in our path. So now that that's been grabbed and we destroyed the Omni-Arrow, we can continue on. It would have been really interesting to have a knife element in this game because I would imagine that the knife element would be like a lightning element because at the end of the day there are certain Skylanders that harness the powers of electricity. Voodoo, the lightning rod and Zap being the best examples of which. Anyway, let's collect that. We already have 2 of the 4 required statues, but after all of this we have a showdown against Chaos's evil Warren minions. Don't ask me why Whamshell is the only water Skylander that doesn't have an evil counterpart. Don't ask me why, it just is. Go with it. Like how in Fire, Igknight is the only one who doesn't have a evil counterpart. For Undead, it is Cinder. Obviously we're going to preview Zap, like we did with Warnado earlier. It would be unfair to give Zap a completely different treatment to that of Warnado. Plus we get the awesome music, so you can't say no to awesome music. And then in the final confrontation, Life. The only iteration that doesn't have an evil counterpart is Camo for some reason. I don't know why those characters were chosen specifically to not have evil counterparts, but here we are. Apparently they're just too righteous to be chosen for evil. Ignitor especially, you know, Ignitor. It's a good thing there isn't an evil version of Ignitor, because if there was, we'd be screwed. It doesn't matter how big your Skylanders army is, you could have all 32 Skylanders. Evil Ignitor is defeating every last one of them, okay? He'd be far too powerful. There we go, we have opened that chest up. Not that we even need the treasure, because again, Zap is fully maxed out over here, it would seem. I'm willing to bet that this is what Riley's Zap looked like. Riley loved this character so much that I would not be surprised if he was maxed out. And frankly, you've seen the same gameplay as I have. This character is busted. No wonder why Riley loved him so much. In fact, to come from this game, Zap is my 4th favourite Skylander. You know, obviously Double Trouble, Drobot and Ignitor outrank him, just barely. Yeah, I would love to go with him, but whilst you continue telling me to stop them, it is taking away the time that could be spent stopping them. So instead of telling me to stop them, how about you just leave me alone to actually fucking stop them? Yeah, take that, Cannonball. That's what you get for looking at me funny. Who would have known that water like cannons would have made such a great defense against actual cannons? Now die, you stupid shit, die. That's more like it. Wow, that's a lot of cannonballs, but pretty much every single one of them missed. That's convenient for us. Yeah, that ship is suddenly going to look a lot bigger the moment we get closer to it. But then again, that's how all objects work. At the end of the day, when an object is far away, it looks smaller than it actually is. As soon as objects get closer, they get bigger. That is how proximity and perspective works, after all. It's as they say, objects in the mirror are often closer than they appear. Okay, let's just gather all this treasure. Because why not? You know, why save the treasure for people who actually need it? When instead Zach can just be greedy and collect treasure that he doesn't even need. I mean, I would love to. But again, you were too busy, like, telling me to look at that rather than actually letting me look at it. Die! Thank you! That's convenient. Anyway, there's watermelon there. Oh, this guy is so going down. Ow. Boy, 91 damage going into the Chaos Boss fight. I'm sure this is going to end well. Luckily for us, Zap can pretty much outmaneuver any single one of his enemies, so we should be fine. But what we won't be fine about, however, is me about to die of boredom, because Chaos is not going to shut up, and we cannot skip this dialogue. It is truly tragical, this unnecessary deep studio. We can't press this video game to skip over. I am upset. I am deeply upset. He makes my eyes roll. He makes me cringe. Chaos, you are cringe. Cringe, I tell you. I'm too late. Now, who am I kidding? I'm never too late. If anything, I'm early. And you've always got to be early, because if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. Never be on time for shit. When people tell you a time, you arrive before that time. They say 9:30, what they actually mean is 9 o'clock. So you arrive at 8:30 just to be safe. Stop attacking me! I am you! By attacking me, you're just hurting yourself. Got him! Zap on Zap is just too busted, man. Yeah, Sunburn and Zap are like the only dragons that have their evil counterparts during their confrontations. Even then, I feel like it would have made more sense to have an evil version of Ignitor over an evil version of Sunburn, but the developers, they said no. They gave us an evil Sunburn instead. Funniest thing is that when I first fought for Chaos Evil Minions, I thought my Skylander attacks were going to like deal the same amount of damage. So when I first got Zap, I thought like his lightning was going to deal what is it, 18 damage a pop. Nope, the evil minions, their attacks deal more damage to your Skylanders than what the Skylander counterparts do. I am not playing this section particularly well, am I? I'm taking lots of damage. This is inconvenient right now. Ow. Yeah! Not my best performance, I must admit. But you know what? Zap. He'll be fine. This is fine. It's like the meme right now. This is fine. House is on fire. Everything around me. Up in flames. This is fine. Anyway, Gilgren, let's take him out already. Let's not stand straight in front of where he's going to attack though. That would not be a good plan. Cool, he's out here. And we can even heal up on the way. That looks like a nice juicy bit of food right there. Yes! Evil amphibious Gilly Man, he is. No more. He is nada right now. He is nada. Not the even deadlier shark bath of doom sharks, anything but that. Oh, whatever will I do? I'm screwed now. Might as well just put the controller down and let the inevitable cutscene play out as I go to my doom. It's like Joel died in Last of Us Part 2 all over again. You just got to put your controller down, watch the cutscene, and just do nothing to prevent this inevitability. It's tragic, and I hate it. But to be fair, that's really like the only part of Last of Us Part 2 I despise. And even then, I'm not against Joel dying. Like, I would be surprised in the game if they didn't kill him off. Like, Joel's death was pretty much inevitable. But the way in which they go about it is is what I hate. Why am I performing so terribly against these Doom Sharks right now? What is going wrong here? I mean, I barely survived it. Yeah, those hitboxes just seem jankier than usual. Like, the Doom Sharks usually do have jank hitboxes in this game, but not janked to that extent. That, and also, I did wake up and forget to push the begin video game button today. You know, having forgot that is clearly evident in my gameplay. Okay, let's not get hit by the punches, because they are deadly and they would hurt me a lot. Oh, luckily though, I see some sliders slowing him down. Good, he's out of here. I want the food! Shut up, Chaos, let me have that chicken leg. I have no idea why chicken is so nutritious to Zap, but here we are. Apparently, you know, eel, water, dragon, thingamabobs really love their chicken. It's like Stormblade. Not Stormblade even, Stormblade is a chicken. So it'd be really weird to watch her eating chicken. No, it's like Stormfly in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise for Astrid's Deadly Nada. For some reason, chicken makes her fly faster. Like, Deadly Nadas love chicken. Who would have seen that being a thing, right? This is a bit cheap. I can't even see Gilgrunt's harpoons right now to be able to dodge them. You can't see them because they just kind of blend in with the water that are surround us. But luckily for me, I'm going to kill him with ease regardless. Zap! Or wasn't even worried. Not like it was for Joel. Joel, I was very worried. And then he died 2 hours into the game. And I got sad. And a little bit mad. Just all of the ad emotions. So when I murdered people in Last of Us Part 2, I was very happy. It was a joyous occasion. Me killing everything in the sight. I cheered. I killed Nora. And what did I do? I laughed! I laugh in the face of brutally murdering people in the most violent and horrific manner as possible. What can I say? Last of Us Part 2 is a comedy. It's like all of these films that come out that are just filled with blood, guts and gore in completely unrealistic manners. The films really play it up and make them like more comedic than anything. Because at the end of the day, that kind of stuff does not happen in real life. So seeing it play out in like such an over-the-top, dramatized way, it is funny. It is why the comedy and horror genres have been bridged to create what is known as horror comedy, or a dark comedy, if you will. You know, some people like dark humour, including yours truly. Ooh. Strange noises sounds intriguing, but it's something we're going to have to tackle next week for the next episode of the Skylanders carryover log. I'll see you then.
I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!